So here's another example of pairing crosser with the wheelie switch. This time, it's going to generate a wide open wheel, which is exactly what we like to see. So it's another example of playing against cover 4. So we're going to have 4 deep defenders, 3 underneath defenders, and 4 rushers. But it looks like Auburn has some type of shade going on where the linebackers are playing towards the field and the safeties are playing towards the boundary because that is where Elijah Moore is aligned. They're kind of concerned about him. Safe to say why they were. So initially, his cross comes across, it presents itself like it's going to be a bender, and he's going to try and split the safeties initially, get their attention, because as is a wheelie switch, this isn't the rendition we have drawn up, but as is, when you have 2 deep defenders from a symmetrical formation, obviously you can just pass that off and not be confused. But when our safeties are further occupied by inside routes, well, that's going to make 1 deep 4th defender having to defend 2 deep routes, and that's really hard to do. And that's kind of what happens on this play. Since the bender gets our safeties working back towards the field, and once our inertia motion gets beyond the other side of the center, fakes that little flat before working on up, there's just no one left because we have a little bit of power play action like we did last time, whether it was faking the inertia motion to set up a quick outlet or whether it was setting up some type of counter. All in all, we still get this defender to come up, and his responsibility was that flank. With that flank defender, again, it just further accentuates this guy's vulnerabilities because he has no one to help underneath to cover his ass if he gains depth. With that safety, of course, again, draw inside. So we can let it play out. You can see how Moore is trying to split the safeties, and it gets them a little bit out of position. You can see him flip his hips. They're definitely concerned that something's going to happen there. Both of them are pulled, but with our post pulling our other deep 4th defender, you can just see right away that there's just no one left in this void for our wheel route, and it's an easy throw for Kenny Uboy. Breaks a few tackles and gets us set up deep into opponent's territory. So wheelie switches, whether it was the running back variation, whether it was the traditional variation, or this one that I just drew up, definitely saw increased potency across the conference this year and a slight increase in usage because obviously teams are going to want to call plays that overly work. And when looking at this offense, switches finished among its most successful pass concepts.